Now, intense fighting is continuing in eastern Ukraine for control of the town of Debaltseve, which pro-Russian rebels are trying to take from Ukrainian government forces. In figures provided by both the government in Kiev and the rebels, 16 civilians have been killed over the past 24 hours in fighting across the region. Debaltseve is a crucial rail hub linking the two main rebel-held cities of Donetsk and Luhansk. Well, we can now speak to Kiev Post news editor Max Tucker, who has just returned from the area, the town of Debaltseve, where, as we've just been hearing, heavy fighting is taking place. But we understand a humanitarian ceasefire was put in place as well. Let's find out if that is still sticking. Max joins me now on the line. Max, what is the situation regarding that humanitarian ceasefire this hour?
Well, today was a very difficult day in Debaltseve. The Russian-backed rebels were supposed to have created a ceasefire to allow civilians to evacuate the city, and that ceasefire was supposed to be in place until 2 o'clock. And there was some ease in the shelling earlier in the day, but by about 1, rockets were raining down all over the town. People were fleeing back into their basements. They couldn't get out. People screaming and crying. Very dramatic scenes in Debaltseve. And it was really very difficult to escape. There were so many rockets coming into the town, it was very difficult to avoid them.
I understand that you're now in the area of Artemovsk, which is about 50 kilometers away from the town that's been under fire. How bad has the situation got in the last few days, in your opinion?
Well, Artemovsk is an oasis compared to Debaltseve. We were just in Debaltseve this morning, and it's a huge relief every time you get back here because you fall back away from the lines. But on the road between Artemovsk and Debaltseve, there's been a huge amount of military activity. There are Uragan missile launchers, armoured personnel carriers moving around, re-manoeuvring, repositioning to fire each other. And as you go down the road between the two cities, you can see rocket plumes in either side of the road, incoming and outgoing. A very vivid picture of explosions all along the road. So fighting is still going on very intensively.
Where do you think, Max, the conflict goes from here, given the fact that fighting has intensified over the last few weeks and indeed months?
It's very difficult to see a way out of the conflict now. The rebels say that they want to control the whole of Donetsk and Luhansk region, which is basically double the territory that they have now. And they're very confident that they can push for that militarily because they have so much military support from Russia. Obviously, the US is now looking at ways to combat that, and maybe by considering sending arms to Ukraine. But I think really it shows no sign of letting up. If the US sends arms, then we'll just see more fighting. I think the best bet now would be for European countries to introduce a new round of even tougher sanctions to force Russia to stop supplying weapons and make it simply impossible for it to afford to do so.
Is the prospect, Max, of US involvement anything that the locals perhaps are supporting, or what are they telling you? Are they giving you a reaction of they don't want that?
Well, in Debaltseve itself, we were speaking to people that had stayed on, and you can see that the extent of the Russian propaganda brainwashing. I mean, these people are afraid to leave the town, even though Russian-backed missiles are falling down all around them, killing their friends, killing their families. They're afraid to leave because they've been told that the rest of Ukraine is a dangerous place full of fascists who are out to get them. And they actually believe this. They're telling us that they refuse to go with the volunteers who come to try to risk their lives to try and pick them up and bring them back to apartments in the rest of Ukraine, in Kiev and Poltava. And they're just refusing to go because they don't trust these people, because they think that they're the villains that have been painted by the Russian media.
Max, we're grateful for your time. Stay safe. Thank you very much for joining us. Max Tucker there, news editor of Kiev Post.